Hello, my sweet friends. How are you all doing? I'm August. This is Cozy Rosy Reads, and today, if you can believe it, we're here already, is the July TBR Jar Challenge game. I say it every month, but like June went by so fast. How are we here already? How am I already picking the books I'm gonna be reading in the month of July? I don't know. It's freaking me out. I hope you all are doing really well. I hope June has been treating you really well and you've been able to read some really wonderful summery books if it's summery where you are. I actually just forgot my iced coffee. I want that beside me 1 second. Aha! All right, so if you're new here, I have a TBR jar. This is full of prompts and challenges, handwritten little notes to help me pick my TBR for the month. I pick 10 every month, and it's very rare for me that I get through all 10 each month, but that's okay. It just gives me a wide variety of books and a little bit of like diversity so I can still be a mood reader. So I finish a book and I have options to pick from, but it just helps me narrow down my very large like TBR shelf, like physical TBR. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all are doing really, really well. Let's see what we're gonna read in the month of July. Honestly, June has been a really good reading month in terms of just like, I'm reading a little bit more. I'm starting to get, not necessarily out of like a reading slump, but just like having fun while reading has been really great. Like just reading fun summary books and lighter books has been a really wonderful thing for me. So I'm hoping to carry that energy into July, like just like looking forward to reading pretty like fast-paced, quicker, more adventure-y, thriller-y, lighter reads. So I hope that's the energy we can bring into July, but we shall see what the TBR jar gives us. So the first prompt of July 2022, my friends, is going to be thriller. I literally just said the word thriller. It listened to us. Oh my gosh. Okay, thrillers. Let's take a peek. So on my shelves, I don't have a whole lot of thrillers, so it's gonna be a pretty slim options, like slim pickings, I guess. I know one, and it's a very recent purchase for me, and it's gonna be included in whenever I do like a summer book haul. Honestly, I haven't been getting a whole lot of books lately, but I did get one that would be perfect for this. Ooh, okay, I have two. I think I only have two, so let me pull those out. Both of these would be included in that summer book haul, so just pretend you didn't see them. But the first is, I did find a copy of Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter at Goodwill. This is an awesome mass market paperback, like just so thick. Look at that spine. I have heard, and I cannot find this book anywhere on like using my library card on Hoopla or Libby, but I've heard that this is like one of the most disturbing Karen Slaughter books, and she is very notorious for writing very tense thriller, murder mystery, kind of horror stuff. This is about sisters, love, loss, redemption, revenge, and I have heard that this one is quite disturbing and graphic. So this is definitely an option. I've read Karen Slaughter in the past, like when I was first getting back into reading and was experimenting with like what genres I really liked. I was listening to a lot of like Karen Slaughter audiobooks, and I thought they were fun. So I think this one would be a really good time. It is a little bit chunkier. This is the vanishing of a teenage girl, killing of a middle-aged man, almost a quarter century apart. What could connect them? I'm not going to read any more on the back because I want to go into this a little bit blind, but I have heard that this one is like the most grotesque and very disturbing. So that's an option. But the one that I'm going with, I think, because this is just like summer vibes. Look at this cover. Look at that cover. This is What You Don't Know About Charlie Outlaw by Leah Stewart. This cover is so summery. How can I not read this in the summer? It is a smaller book. I did just recently get this one at Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree got a new like shipment of $1 brand new books. This sounds something that like, again, would normally not be in my wheelhouse of books that I'm interested in, but like I can't. I mean, if you saw my June TBR, I am currently reading Killer Content, which is another book that like normally I wouldn't pick up, but the summer does something to me. I don't want to say hot trash, like trashy kind of quote unquote, because that sounds like so disrespectful to the author and their craft and their art. But for me personally, it's just a little bit lighter reading, a little bit more fast-paced and fun, and this sounds like that. And that's what's been getting me through reading a lot of books right now, is just like something that's really page-turning, really engrossing and engaging and just fun. I can like turn my brain off and just read, and that's been really nice. So this book actually follows, like, he's an actor named Charlie, and he goes to a remote island in search of anonymity and a chance to reevaluate his recent breakup with his girlfriend, who's also an actress. But soon after his arrival on the island, his solitary hike into the jungle takes him into danger he never anticipated. So it says it's a mix between part love story, part fun mystery, but I'm also feeling like it would be a thriller just because it's grappling between like human, you know, human versus human conflict, human versus self conflict, maybe human versus nature conflict, where he's in this remote island, this jungle. Doesn't explain like what happens, but it does say that like he is in like desperate need of help. Does this count as a thriller? The more I'm reading the back, the more I'm like, is this really a thriller, or is it just gonna be like a fun summer love story mystery romp? I'm gonna say it counts as a thriller. It could be thrilling. There could be like a lot going on with it. So we're gonna go ahead and just like add that. What you don't know about Charlie Outlaw. I mean, this cover just looks like it'd be such a good summer, you know, jumping in the water from a cliff. That's like a thrilling, exhilarating experience, right? Prompt number 2, my friends. Prompt number 2. What do we have? Ooh, okay, we have white cover. So I need to find a book that has a white cover, and that is what we'll be reading. I know what I'm gonna pick. Okay, I do have a few others, you know, not fully like white, but we have The Shell Collector, short story collection by Anthony Doerr. We have Snow Country by Yasunari Kawabata. That's obviously going to be a winter book. Snow Country, are you kidding me? The Princess of Cleves by Madame de Lafayette. Not really feeling classic vibes. One Day by David Nichols. Further up it gets a little bit not so much. I don't have a whole lot of like white spines, so I don't think I'd have very many. If anything, I might have like Mr. Fox by Helen Oyeyemi right at the tip top. But the book that I'm gonna pick, because I've been wanting to read this every summer since I got it, so it's been at least like 2 or 3 summers, is Sour Heart by Jenny Zhang. This is a collection of short stories. This cover is just absolutely stunning. Collection of short stories about Chinese women. I think specifically the immigrants. Yeah, the immigrant experience in America. So it's a collection, this is a debut collection of adolescence. Jenny Zhang conjures the disturbing and often hilarious experience of adolescence through the eyes of Chinese American girls growing up in New York City. Her stories cut across generations and continents, moving from the fraught halls of a public school in Flushing, Queens, to the tumultuous streets of Shanghai, China during the Cultural Revolution of the 1960s. Yeah, it just sounds like it's all over the place. There's 7 stories in here, and I am so excited. I am really looking forward to this one. This cover is just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna be adding this. So excited to finally read this short story collection. I've definitely been craving short story collections, especially in the summer. They're just like so delectable and delicious, and like small little bite-sized pieces of other narratives and lives. And to have it be like through a main, I don't wanna say like theme, but focus on just the Chinese adolescent girl immigration experience is amazing. I think that's really, really cool. So we're gonna add Sour Heart. Oh, this stack is so summery already. Look at that. Also, this light coming in makes this look so like soft and ethereal. I don't really know what's happening, but whatever. All right, prompt number 3 then. Also, if you've noticed, my mullet shag cut has started to get to the point where it's long enough where it's not fully wanting to be bangs anymore. So I am doing this like weird like curtain bang thing. I don't know if I like it. We're gonna keep growing it out and see how we feel. I can always cut it later. Oh, we have the prompt O. So I need to find do I have a book that starts with O? Oh, I actually do. I have 2. One I literally just showed you, so brain span. Attention span, not quite there. The first is One Day by David Nichols. This is a like love story over the course of like a decade. It starts in 1988, and this couple cannot stop thinking about one another when they meet. And then over 20 years, snapshots of that relationship are revealed on the same day, July 15th of each year. Sounds really interesting. I've heard really good things about this one. I feel like it's very reminiscent of one of my favorite movies ever, Comet. Love the movie Comet. I do feel like this would make me really emotional just because it is like a love story over 2 decades, and you get snapshots of their lives, and like it would make me really emotional because that like the movie Comet makes me super, super emotional. I think about like love over time, or maybe even like parallel universes, or just the existence of time and how it plays and weaves into a story, I think would be really good. But honestly, I don't know if I would actually get to this book, and it's been on so many of my TBRs, but I know what kind of reading mood I've been in lately, which is just like a lot of shorter books or books that are a little bit easier to digest. So that's an option. And the only other book that I have that starts with O is Oxherding Tale. Sorry for the sticker on the front. I'm always scared when they put stickers right on the front to take it off. This is Oxherding Tale by Charles Johnson. Is blurbed on the back as saying a wonderfully funny, erotic, bittersweet story. Johnson presents a fable about racial difference, and he doesn't make light of the load, but makes the burden of its telling sweeter with Dickensian, I never know how to pronounce that, Dickensian twists of plot and with outrageous characters. So this is a wonderfully imaginative novel, an iconoclastic classic that is part slave narrative, part comedy, part Buddhist myth. One night in the antebellum South, a slave owner and his African-American butler stay up to all hours until, too drunk to face their wives, they switch places in each other's beds. Adventures and philosophical inquiry, Hawkins navigates white and black worlds and comments wryly on human nature along the way. Told with pure genius, Oxherding Tale is a deliciously funny, bitterly ironic account of slavery, racism, and the human spirit. Yeah, okay, that sounds great. I picked this up. This was in the $1 bin of my local independent bookstore, and it's pretty short. It sounds interesting. You know, I'm having a hard time with like quote unquote like erotic books. I unfortunately had an experience where I picked up an audiobook thinking it was something because it was like its blurb was describing it as like more of like a narrative, this mystery, maybe more psychological thriller, and it turned into the most erotic, the most amount of like smut I've ever read in a book, and it was on audio, and I just felt so uncomfortable. I felt bad for like the audiobook narrator. I was like, ooh, this poor audiobook narrator has to like read all of this out loud, and like, oh, it was just like way too much for me, and it like really took away the story and like the narrative and the plot and the characters because it was just so much smut, and I realized more and more like that is not something that I'm super into. So I'm curious, but I think I'm gonna pick Oxherding Tale. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oxherding Tale just because I am super curious, but I am hesitant about the eroticism in it. We shall see. I still don't know my balance with that because like the Pisces by Melissa Broder definitely had smut and eroticism in it, but it was so like just straightforward. It wasn't like romanticizing or hypersexualizing. Smut, it was just kind of like, here are the acts, here are the things that have happened, but it's not this like, he did this and then he did that and then she did this and she did that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna do this. We're gonna see how it goes. That's Oxherding Tale. Hey! And I will try and get that sticker off before I start reading the book, I promise. I can't stand stickers on the front, but then it's just sticky and it's blah. Anyway, prompt number 4, we have LGBTQ plus literature. Let us see. I do believe I have a few, but it might take me a second to comb through everything, so one moment. Okay, I have a few here. I definitely feel like I have more LGBTQ plus books, but I honestly don't know. I feel like there are definitely themes, but maybe I don't remember a whole lot of the plots and what's included, but I definitely know and feel like I have more than 3, but these are the 3 that off the top of my head and quickly glancing I knew I had. So first is Amy and Jaguar by Erica Fisher. I have tried reading this in the past. This is nonfiction about a Jewish woman. This does take place during World War II in Nazi Germany, and a woman who is married to a Nazi, and they have a romantic relationship, and true story. I did try reading it, and it does unfortunately read very much like nonfiction. It's pretty dry. It was pretty all over the place. The writing was really scattered, but like I am not giving up on this. I just like don't know when I'd actually feel compelled to read it, and it might work better for me as like an audiobook. So this is a no, but I'm still so curious just because the story is just what? So that is an option. Then we have Jam on the Vine by LaShonda Catrice Barnett. I've been wanting to read this for a while now. This is a sapphic romance and relationship about 2 women who are living during the Jim Crow South, and they are lovers and they're in a relationship, and they start the first like black female newspaper, which is really cool. So they're journalists together, but they are also partners. I think that's really cool. Lastly, I think this is the one I'm going with just because it is a little bit shorter and more summery, and again, another one that's going to be included in my, like, a book haul coming up, so again, pretend you didn't see it, but it's The Friendly Young Ladies by Renault. Again, sticker on the front, but this is set in 1937, and it's a romantic comedy off of Bloomsbury, Bohemia. There is an 18-year-old girl, and she leaves her parents' house to seek out her sister named Leah, who ran away 9 years before, and she finds her sister sharing a houseboat and a bed with a beautiful woman named Helen. And when this girl arrives, she seems innocent enough, and then through a series of events that will turn all three girls' lives inside out, there's also a young doctor who is chasing after all three women at once. And so there's a little bit of eroticism. Long quiet ghosts from Leo's past begin to surface. Before long, no one is sure just who feels what for whom. So this was written in the early 1940s, so I am curious. I am very, very curious. I think I'm gonna go with this. It sounds intriguing. It is a little bit shorter. It does sound like very character driven, and just a lot of like complicated relationships and dynamic characters and dynamic relationships, which sounds like it could be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna add The Friendly Young Ladies to my TBR. Voila. Prompt number 5. Ooh, green cover. Green, green, green. Let me grab the options I have, quickly show you them, but I feel like I already know what I'm gonna pick. I don't have as many like green cover books as I thought I did, but I will still show you. These spines are just so pretty. First we have The Rose and the Beast by Francesca Leah Block. This is a collection of several like fairy tale retellings. Very interested in this, but it does for me feel a little bit more like fall wintry maybe, and it's just such a cool format. I really, really love this. That's probably a no for right now. Then I also have The Dancing Girl of Izu and Other Stories by Yasunari Kawabata. This is a short, beautiful little short story collection, which I'm very excited to get to, but we already have a short story collection, and I really want to read Motherlunge by Kirstin Scott. I got this book at the very, very beginning, one of the first books I feel like I got when I started this booktube channel at a used library book sale, and I've been wanting to read it ever since. And this is a story about a mother-daughter relationship, and when I started reading it, just to like make sure I would want to buy it at the used library book sale, I was in love with the writing style. But I picked it up in like February or March or something like that, and it definitely is a summer read. I mean, it's like under like pool cover, and the first few lines and the first few pages of this book is just like so summery, and I've been wanting to read it, and this has to be the summer that I read Motherlunge. I am so excited. So it's in, wow, there's a lot of eroticism in July. That wasn't really planned out. It says Motherlunge is an eloquent and irreverent novel about first sex, true love, chronic sibling rivalry. It's about the deepest fear of young and not so young adulthood, the fear of inheriting a disappointing life. It's motherly advice too, and yada yada yada, so it goes. And I already know the writing style is so up my alley, so up my street. I'm really excited for Motherlunge. It just, for me, it feels like if you read like The Tribes of Palos Verdes, that same kind of like writing style where it's not a whole lot happens, but it is more of like character development, coming of age, very complicated, maybe even like toxic family relationships. I just love like that adolescence, especially like mother-daughter. Very excited for Motherlunge, so I'm gonna add this. I'm so excited. Finally, this has to be like a top priority for me in July because I've been wanting to read it for so long. It's been on my shelves for quite a long time, so there we go. Prompt number 6. What happened? What happened in my jar to make it look like this? Looks like a straw wrapper. Okay, we have K. Our prompt is the letter K. I don't have one that starts with K, so this will go back into the jar. Let's try again. R. We have another letter, R. R prompt. Okay, what do we have that's R? Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. We have several. I already feel like I know. This is great. Ooh, actually, oh no, I'm torn between a few. Okay, I'll just show you everything I have. Let's not get ahead of myself. I'm just getting so excited. So first we have Reckless Appetites, Jacqueline Duvall. This is definitely an autumn book. I started reading it. It is much more of like an autumn, fall, winter, cozying up at home, wanting to cook all the time. I'm really excited to read it, but it was just not the right time for me to read it. So this is gonna be a no, but I cannot wait for this book. Huge 5-star prediction. Then we have Red Lights by Simenon. Super short, super odd little thing. I had never heard of it. Again, just another $1 bin at my local indie bookstore. And it takes place over Labor Day weekend. Like this book is all just in one day, and it follows a man. He like blacks out, and then when he wakes up on the side of the road. His car has a flat, his money is gone, and there's one more thing still left for him to learn about Nancy, which is his wife. So yeah, all takes place in one night over Labor Day weekend, and I think this would just be so fun, like just very fast paced. This guy just like blacks out and it's like all the crazy things he goes through, or are we just gonna like wake up and he's trying to like piece together what happened after he blacks out this one night? I'm curious. This is a really big contender just because it's short, it's weird, it's odd. It's a little very under the radar kind of book. It's an option. Then we also have another very summery book that I would love to get to, which is Rides of the Midway by Lee Durkee. I talked about this one more in depth in my vlog when I picked it up, so I'll link that down below if you're interested. But this is like part murder mystery, part ghost story, and part homage to the messy, unwilling vision quest, otherwise known as adolescence. So it's about this young boy who can see 2 dead people, and one of them is like his deceased father's ghost, and then the other is like he accidentally killed somebody by giving him a concussion during a baseball game when he was a kid, and so that kid's ghost like follows him around. But it's also this kid just like getting into a lot of trouble in early adolescent years, like getting into drugs and drinking, getting into first romances, and it's apparently just like very dark humor, very dark comedy. So also a very good like summary book. So I'm definitely between these two. The other two I have are more of like the historical fiction, again, just like fall, winter, and both of those are The Rose and the Beast again. And then we have The Rose Garden by Susanna Kearsley. So these are both fall, winter books for me. So I do believe, I think I'm gonna go with Red Lights. This one just sounds really interesting, very intriguing. Labor Day hasn't happened yet. That happens in the States in August or September. I honestly forget every single time. But I think it would be a really quick summer, weird, kooky read. So I'm gonna add Red Lights by Simenon and figure out how to pronounce that name as well. So there we go. And I am curious about this author as well too. What's Simenon? Is that a first name? Is it a last name? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what this is, but I'm excited for it. So there we go. Okay, prompt number 7 then. Buy a new book! Buy a new book! Oh my, I know what I'm gonna buy. I know what I'm gonna buy. I know what I'm gonna buy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. I'm going to buy myself Cult Classic by Sloane Crosley. If you saw my mid-year freakout tag, no surprise, that's the only like new release that I've been like keeping my eye out on and like been wanting to read. So I'm gonna treat myself, I'm gonna buy that and then immediately add it to this TBR stack, and I'm freaking psyched. Oh my gosh. Okay, that means I have to plan a trip to my local independent bookstore, and I'm very, 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 very excited about that. So good times will be had. I can't tell you a whole lot about this book. I don't know much about it other than I adore Sloane Crosley as a writer. This is her first novel. Typically she writes like essays, comedic essays, more nonfiction, personal stuff. So I'm very excited. I have no idea what it's about. As soon as I saw she wrote a novel, I was just like, yeah, I want to read that. So I don't even care what it's about. I just want to read it. But the cover of it is stunning. So let's go ahead and move on to the next prompt, and I'll just have to go out and buy myself a new book. That's so fun. Last time I bought, when that prompt came up, I bought myself The Pisces by Melissa Broder. That was the last like brand new book that I bought for TBR challenge, and it ended up being one of my favorites of the summer. It was like a 5-star summer read. Okay, prompt number 8 then. Ooh, a book you were gifted. I've been gifted many books, many books. For this one, I'm going to be picking a book that the author kindly gifted me. I have so many gifts on here from like my family members, from friends, from my partner. I have so many, but I really would love to get to this one just so I can talk about it more and review it, because the author did kindly send me a copy of her novel, which is The Existence of Amy by Lana Riva. This is about a woman who suffers with obsessive compulsive disorder, but from the outside, it looks like she has her life together. She has friends, she has a really good job. So it's like the inner turmoil of living with a mental illness, and I'm very excited for this. Sounds very up my alley. I would love to read it this summer. So we're gonna add The Existence of Amy to the TBR pile, and I'm so excited to read this one too. Oh gosh, I want to get to every single book on this stack. Can I make it happen in July? Is July the month that I can get to everything? Because I really, really want to. Okay, prompt number 9 then. What fun goodies are in store for us, my friends? Another letter. We have the letter S. Which I have a lot of S's. We have The Scent Keeper. I'm not pulling all of them out because I do have a lot. By Erica Bauermeister. The Sea Beast Takes a Lover by Michael Andreasen. Selected Poems by Emily Dickinson. The Shell Collector by Anthony Doerr. Sin Eater by Megan Campisi. Snow Country by Yasunari Kawabata. The Strange Fascinations of Noah Hypnotic by David Arnold. Swimming Home by Deborah Levy. Definitely Swimming Home by Deborah Levy. Are you kidding me? This is a summery book. It has a pool on the cover. This is definitely it. Second pick would definitely be The Strange Fascination of Noah Hypnotic. So many of you can spot this on my shelves. When I film in this area, so many people comment and say like, you really should read this. It's really good. It's so funny to me. Maybe it's just because the spine is so identifiable and like recognizable, but so many of you are like, don't give up on this book. Like, you should definitely read it. And I do want to read it. Definitely feels like a summery book to me, but Swimming Home is a little bit shorter, more of a literary fiction DWM. It follows a man and his family, and they arrive in this villa in Nice, and he sees a woman in the swimming pool named Kitty, and she is just kind of seems like a little bit like a manic pixie dream girl, like just kind of comes out of the pool. Why is she there? And then why does this man, Joe's wife, allow Kitty to remain at their villa? Very, very curious about this one. It says it's a subversively brilliant study of love. Swimming Home reveals how the most devastating secrets are the ones we keep from ourselves. So very excited for this one. I'm gonna add it. Okay, my friends, the last prompt then of July. What's the last little nugget we're gonna read? Okay, here we go. Ooh, book set in a small town. That's very niche, very hyper-specific. August. Okay, book set in a small town. Let me do some digging. Let me get back to you. I'm gonna pause because I feel like this might actually take a while for me to figure out. Okay, after some digging, not a whole lot of my books say if they're set in like a rural small town, but there is one. There's one that I think fits the most because it does say it takes place on a remote island. So that's small. I'm guessing. And that's gonna be The Scent Keeper by Erica Bauermeister. Did I say that right? Bauermeister. There we go. I have been intrigued with this book. It's been on my like want to read list on like Hoopla or Libby, like as an audiobook. So I might even listen to it along with reading it. I think that would be a really fun experience. But this takes place on a remote island. It follows this woman named Emmeline, and she lives with her father. Or a girl. I don't know. Is she a woman? A girl? I don't know. Who teaches her about the natural world through her senses. What he won't explain are the mysterious scents stored in glass bottles that line the walls of their cabin, or the origin of the machine that creates them. That's all I want to know. Smells, sensory, especially sensory books and in writing, just, oh, so good. And if it has this like, I'm not a fan of the cover, but it is very summery energy, very light deliciousness about smells and the power of smells. Like, I'm very, very intrigued. So I'm gonna add this, and it takes place on a remote island, which I do believe is going to have like a small, what was the prompt? Small town energy. I'm gonna add this, and I'm very excited for it, but I might listen to it along with, an audiobook with the actual physical book. I think would be a really fun time. So there we have it, friends. So the only book missing is going to be Cult Classic, which I hope to find a copy of. I'm going to go to my independent bookstores first, see if I can find it there. But yeah, this is my beautiful stack. I am in love. We, once again, have so many like blues. Does everyone remember like last month, like how I was obsessed with like all the teal covers? We have even more this time. Stunning. If you made it to the end, let us comment. What should we comment? Again, there's just like a very watery theme going on. So maybe we can do some like aquatic stuff. We have Swimming Home. This will take place on an island. Motherlunge has a pool on the cover. This one, remote island as well. Let's do some island stuff. Let's do like, there's like an actual little island emoji, some waves. You can put some like fish, some aquatic creatures. I know there's like a cute little like squid or octopus. let's just make it very aquatic and just like dive headfirst, no pun intended, to the like weirdly aquatic ocean theme. In the summer, I just love reading books about water and being around water, islands, swimming. Oh, it's just such a vibe. And I would love to hear what your plans are for the month of July in terms of reading. If you've read any of these, no spoilers, but like if you think I'd like them. I've heard that a lot of people do really enjoy The Scent Keeper. Thank you so incredibly much for being here, friends. I appreciate you so much. Cannot wait to dig into these books in July, and I can't wait to see you all again very soon for my next video. Stay cozy, my friends. Bye!